Welcome people to the World Wide Web, and it's that weekend time again, so it's movie review and I'm reviewing Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. So I was fairly looking forward to this movie, so expectations were a little bit higher. I'm not a big fan of D&D. I don't know a lot about the stuff, so that I won't see. A lot of stuff has been spoiled online, and I'm going to try and not spoil it here for you in regards to certain things that are featured in it, or not yet at least. But yeah, sorry about this. Moving the camera, just trying to line it up. So, so anybody, if you haven't seen the trailer or if you have, you don't know, basically it is about a band of thieves, or mainly Chris Pine and Michelle Rodriguez. Chris Pine used to be part of a clan. Unfortunately, he does something, it causes his wife to be killed, and then he kind of leads this kind of unofficial, because he's part of a clan, and then basically becomes kind of like a thief. That's where Michelle Rodriguez comes in. They kind of form this group, and then they go about kind of robbing people while they're trying to do this heist. It goes wrong. They get betrayed, and then it's kind of the journey of them trying to set things right and trying to self-discovery and meeting newer characters along the way. And yeah, it is for the most part a very good watch. Say certain people's acting and stuff did surprise me a little. Not quite as the people I thought might be crap were better, and some people I thought would have better maybe weren't as good as they could have been. I say features a lot of dungeons and demons and sorcerers and warlocks, which is very much how D&D is. So I don't think they have, or they put enough in there to please that side of it. There are. I did like the film. There are a few things I think could have been done better, and there are a few things in relation to the trailer that I won't say anything yet until we get to the spoiler mark. But yeah, so yeah, not too bad. So definitely worth watching if you like the trailer. Definitely go watch it. So it's enjoyable. It ticks a lot of the boxes, and yeah, it is done really, really well. And on that note, we shall put the spoiler review up here. And yeah, let's go in. So, kind of to elaborate, obviously, the person that betrays him is Hugh Grant. You kind of get it from the trailer anyway. I really like Hugh Grant, and he's in a lot of stuff. To me, I felt he was the one who was a little lackluster for me. I quite like him featuring a lot of stuff like The Gentleman. He's kind of having a bit more of a resurgence in this. I felt he was missing something. I don't know why. That's just how it come across. The story had a good flow, kind of spanned off, and is a nice fantasy film to watch, and meeting all these other characters that you have along the line. Obviously, there is more than enough to build on the second one. Obviously, I don't want to get too much into it, but obviously, yeah, I'll try and go for it. So it's very good. Obviously, how it starts is Chris Pine and Michelle Rodriguez are in a jail, and basically they're up for review, and one thing goes to another. They manage to escape on this review, and this is how they get out. And then they find out that obviously the people that betrayed them, and then it slowly, when they find like Hugh Grant's character has betrayed them with this sorceress. And he's stolen her daughter and kind of twisted everything against Chris Pine's character. And then he wants to get back, and then he finds the way to do this is obviously to steal the items that Hugh Grant had stolen from them early on. So then they have a band of people together, and they need certain items to fulfill this. So this is where they go off of all these different channels and meet these different people and do this thing. And it's good. It opens up the world. Michelle Rodriguez's character, she goes on about her ex, and you get to meet that ex. It's a famous actor, and I'm not going to say who it is because I want to leave that as a surprise. It was all right for me. It was a little bit of a build up, and it felt a bit. It was the person playing the role was quite, I thought, quite good. Justice I can't remember his last name. He was in Pokemon. He plays like a wizard mage. I really liked his character. He's a little bit silly and stuff. And the changeling, I thought her actress as well. Those were the two I didn't think would land that well. And I was pleasantly surprised. And obviously, as you meet like the really fat dragon that is in it, this is where some of it gets almost all the main pivotal scenes for this film are in the trailer, and this is where I think ruined it a little bit. To me, I feel like trailers should only show the first half of the film. I think they did it for the second Jurassic Park. I think the first trailer was like the first half of the film, and a lot of people were like, oh my god, that's quite a good trailer. And then the later trailers showed more the end of it, and I'm like, just leave that out. Let people, build the tension for it. But yeah, as I say, there's just... So obviously it's all about them getting to steal this, and obviously they get all the items. They do go to the city, go to do the heist, and it obviously doesn't pan out at first. They get put into the maze, which is seen in the trailer. You get to see, obviously, and this is a spoiler if you've ever seen the cartoon Dungeons and Dragons, they have people representing them. They turn up in a few scenes, which was a nice cameo, nice little nod for the fans. If you're on any sort of movie sites or Facebook or anything, these images have already been flashed everywhere, so I've ruined it for everybody. I don't know why some people just like to do this, and to me it annoys me, because I'm like, you're taking, the enjoyment of movies. Movies are suffering, I feel, as a whole, have always been suffering, and physical media and everything else is suffering, and go, illegal streaming and everything else, and then you just ruin everything for the people who would go and see it. It just, doesn't make people want to go again, because they know people are just going to ruin everything for them. But by the way, yes, the trailer, so it has the natural flow, and obviously, and I say, when they're in the maze and they kind of, it looks like they're going to escape, and they get on this boat and they go to sail away. And if you've watched the trailer, you're literally sitting there going, well, they're literally going to turn around. You've seen the trailer. There's big scenes that aren't featured, and I'm like, this is why my point of the trailer. I'm like, it was a disappointment. Now have the final fight, which you see a little bit of things. It ends really well, and I say this is a really, really enjoyable. Or the fight ends, and there are a few fun, kind of the Hulk Loki situation. Again, not going to go into much more. And then something happens, and literally building up to it, you knew, if you've got any inclination, they just open this. Well, you knew something was going to happen. You knew this was going to be the thing, and that's why I was like, why? It wasn't much of a surprise. You knew what was going to happen. You could see it come in. It is what it is, and I was a little let down when it ended. But the very interesting thing of, they kind of have the team after the mission talking about it, and then it switches back to someone telling a story, which mirrors very much the very beginning of the film, and that was a little bit of a redemption for me. I was like, actually, that was quite clever how everything was done, and I say, I don't want to say any more. There's a name I could say and ruin stuff, but that's where I'm going to leave it. And I was pleasantly surprised by that. That even where a film maybe fails a little bit in my eyes, they've done something just to add a little bit of not nuance, but just a different side of things. And I say I really like that. I say Chris Pine, he's very hit and miss, I find, sometimes. I know he did a lot of change in the characters and stuff, or his character and stuff, and I think it works quite well. It humanises him a little bit more. I say, and I enjoyed the other characters, and I look forward to hopefully a second one to build in these other characters and build in the kind of, make it a bit more grander. I think having the arena and then fighting this one sorceress, it was good as a first one, but I think you could very much build on it and build a lot more bad guys and stuff like this, because obviously it was loads of fighting a fat dragon and but yeah, so it was good. It was good, there was some good fight scenes and stuff. But overall, I would give this movie a 6.5. I was debating 7, but I'm going to leave it at 6.5. I say it had the trailer and a few stuff ruined it a little bit for me, and I say, and Hugh Grant and stuff. But I mean, overall, it is a good film, definitely worth a watch. I will definitely own this. I've owned some of the older Dungeons and Dragons movies, and say I look forward to it. And it was something nice to have something a little bit different instead of comic book stuff nowadays. But by the way. Hopefully you've liked this review. Please like, comment and subscribe. Obviously I come out with at least 2 videos a week with stuff. If you're watching this video and you think there's something you want me to review, if there's something, if you're watching me and you're like, oh, your opinions, I quite like them, they're marrying mine, actually you might like watching this, please do recommend it in the thing. As you've seen from my collection, I have loads that I want to expand, so I'm always happy for suggestions. But anyway, I've been Cypher Sigma, and I shall see you in the next one.